Welcome back, students. And in this lecture, we will continue our discussion on the tables. I also try to add the t-head and t-body tags inside that slide as well, so that you don't forget about that. So we have tables organize the data in the rows and the columns, and everything that will come inside a table that will come inside the table tag, opening and closing. And then if we want to arrange the header section and the body or the data section separately, then we can enclose the header or the header row, or maybe multiple rows are the headers. So we can enclose them inside the table t head or table head. Okay. And then the actual data which belongs to that table, the information that we want to display over there, we can enclose those rows inside the table body. And every row contains, so inside, if I just put my pen here, I am here, yes, let me go here, put the pen here. So everything is come inside these two tags. Okay. And inside this table, we can have two sections. Section number one, which is a heading, and section number two, which is a row, body. And then remember that these things, they always comes inside the row part here. Okay. So it is a table data or table heading. Okay. They always come inside the row. So the row is inside the body or inside the head or inside the table. But inside the row, we always have TD and TH. So this is a structure. For example, if I say we have a table, inside the table we have T head, and inside the T head, inside the T head, we have the row TR, and inside the row, we can have TH, and then we can also have inside a table another thing, which is the T body, and inside the T body,
Sir?
we should have the TR. Yes.
So what's the difference between T head and TH?
Look, T head is more like a section which group the heading row. Okay. It is, look here, TH is here, and we are combining. If we have multiple rows in the header section, they are inside the, for example, inside I have another TR, so we have two rows inside the header section, and inside the TR we have the TH. TH is represent one box inside the table, but the contents will be bold. Understand? Did I answer your
Yes.
question?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, the T body, again in the T body, we can have multiple TRs, and in the TRs, we can have the TD. Again, TH and TD, they represent one box, one cell inside the table. Okay, only one cell. Row contains the multiple. For example, if I just go to the next one. So we are talking about, this is our heading row. Inside the heading row, we have one, two, and three columns. And then I can enclose, because this is a heading, I can enclose that in the T head here, and then here at this place I can close that T head. So this row is inside the T head. I can have multiple rows in the T head as well if I wanted. Okay. And similarly, the next row is this. Again, it has three columns or three columns. So this one is actually represented by this one cell, this one, this TD. And similarly, if I say this is our TH1, then it represents this one cell. Understand? So TH and TD, they are the one cell inside the table. they represents the columns, and the tr represents the rows. Or is it clear? I hope so. Nobody is answering.
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah. So again, the next row, we have this thing, and then we have the fourth row. Fourth row is here. So fourth row is there. So it is not always necessary that we always have the same number of columns in every row. It is a possibility that we can have the different number of columns in different rows. Okay. And how it is that? For example, in the heading row, we have four columns. In the first row or data row, first data row, which is this one, it we have five columns. So what will happen? Because in the first row we don't have the fifth column, it will become empty part. And in the second and the third and the fourth row, we have only three columns. So this will become an empty part. Okay, but each row, each column will come under the same place. The first under the first, second under the second, third under the third, and the fourth, if does not exist, that part will of the row will be empty. Is it clear?
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor, it's clear.
Okay. So the next thing is that we can apply the borders. So we are specifying the style property inside our head, and then inside we say we want to apply on the table tag. When I say table, I'm applying only on the table tag, and I say the border will be 1 pixel in the width, the line. It will be a solid line. We can say dotted. We can say dashed. I mean, if it is dotted, it will be like this. If it is dashed, it will be like this. We can different style we can specify here, and then we are specifying the color of that border. I put a black, so it will on the around the table it make a border. Okay. And then of course we have the headings, then row, and then we have the data row, again data row, again data row, they are represented over there. But if I say like this one, now I say not only apply this style on the table, but also apply on the td tag. Td tag is this one. Here we have th. So on the heading row, it doesn't apply the borders, but on each cell inside the rows, data rows, it apply that, because all of these tags are TD. So on the TD tag, apply this border style. So it is having all these borders around those cells. Okay. And then if I say that I also want to apply the same style on the th tag, then what I will do, I will put a comma and then put the ted. So we say on the table, on the td, and on the th, apply the same style. So it will apply on the style. So now if you look at that on the table, this is the style. This is a style. This is the border. And then on the td, this is the border. And then on the th, this is the border. But all of them, they are separate. So we are looking at the two, lines. But if we want to make sure that they only show one line, then we need to add this section or this part or this property inside our property. We say border dash dash collapse is equal to collapse. So it will collapse these borders together, and rather than we shoot two lines, we see only one line. And this is normally what we will see. Okay, and look at that in the row where we don't have the fourth and fifth column, these part is empty. Clear? I hope things are clear. So we are applying different styles. And what next? We are also applying the border radius. Border radius mean that the corners, these corners, rather than having these straight lines, they become more circular. Okay. So when they become circular, so if we increase that size, this circle will more visible. Okay. So rather than 10, 5, if I say make 15, maybe that will become more like this. So it will be more visible, that corner radius, which is circular one. Okay. And then if you want to need more information about the table border, go to that link and then you will see that details about that. Okay. Any questions so far?
Doctor,
No. Okay. So we can
doctor, can you hear
also
me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, doctor, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible if we can have like a title on the rows, like for example, one, two, three, on the left side, or it's not possible in HTML?
I mean, you want that rather than we have the row here, row, I mean, the title on this one, you also want to have a title this way. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. Let me show you. Once I will start the practical thing, I can show you that thing as well. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's what we are done. Okay, so then we also apply the widths. When we say style is width is equal to 100%, it means it will try to cover the whole width of the screen, whole width of the page, and then try to have that as big as possible. And then we can also apply the width on the each individual headings or individual cell as well. So we can say 60% of the table should be covered by the heading, the second column. Okay, so we can also do that. We can also apply the height. We can specify the height of the cells or the rows, and then we can also apply the caption. If we caption is more like a small title for the table. Okay, and we can also have the row span or column span. I mean, right now we are saying that this fourth heading that should cover the two columns. So we have two columns. So it is covering the both of the columns. So that's why we say column span is equal to 2. And if I just try to do this thing, so now we are saying that inside the second row, this column should actually we have two rows, and this is covering the both rows. So we say row span is equal to 2. We can also say row span 3, then it will be become more like this, covering the whole three rows under it. Okay, so we have a row span and we have a column span, and these are some more informations. We have a padding and spacing, table styling, column groups, that you can see details about that. And that if the last thing in this lecture is the validator. So if you want to validate your code, okay, remember that we have some extension in the VS code that will help us to check our code that it is valid or not. But we can also check, we can copy our code, and then either we can say upload your file into this file using this link, or you can say direct input. When you open this one, when you click on that, this part, then it will open up an editor, and inside that editor you can paste your whole code, and then you can check, and then it will tell you if there's some problem with your HTML code or not. Or we can do, of course, we can always check the HTML hints that we have extension that we have installed inside our Visual Studio Code, and that will help us to identify any problems or the issues with our HTML code. So that is the end of our lecture so far. Okay.
Sir,
Yes,
can you go back to the row span?
row span.
So
Okay.
the row span is in within the so it's like within the TD.
Yeah, we are putting that inside. Look, what we have here. So if we, what will be covering which part? Table is going to cover, or the row will be cover the multiple rows or the multiple columns? So actually,
Mm.
this cells, one cell can go into the multiple rows or the multiple columns. So we always use these row span or the column span in the TD or the TH, not in the TR, not in the caption, not in the table, not in the T head, or not in the T body. We always use the row span and the column span in the TH or in the TD, one cell. So that cell can cover the two rows, or that cell can cover the two columns or three columns. Okay, so it is not the row that is going to cover. Row is only one row. Okay, it is always come in the TD or TH. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you, though.
Yeah. So this is the what you can say that the lecture. So let me quickly create a new I will say that new window, bring it up here. And remember, yesterday we were working on that folder, so we will open the same folder. That is on our desktop, IS311 11 a.m. Then we have a week 3 and we select that one. So remember we have the table.html file here. Remember or not? We also try with some OL, or listings, because someone is asking me some questions at the end of the lecture. So it will say that can we start our numbering with a specific number, for example 10. So if I just go live here, and then let me quickly make it like that, and then bring this one here. So let me make it this, and here let me do that. Okay, no, not this one here. This, and I want to do that. So we have this one. Let me make it a little bit smaller, like this. So we can see more of the code as compared to and let me close it down. So now you can see that our starting, when we say start is equal to 10, it's starting, the numbering is starting from the 10. We can also say start from the 5. So when we save it, then we can say that he was also asking that can we do that that jump, like rather than I use the 5 and then 6, 7, 8, I want to use the 5, 10, 15, 20, and like this. So we can make that one happen as well. But let me first quickly jump onto that what you can say that I bring up here this thing. So let me create this table for us. Okay. So in this one, if you look at that, it has two rows in the header section, and then it on the left side it also has a header, just like one of you were asking that can we have the header on the left side as well. Okay, the first column becomes the header. So let me implement that and how we can do that. So let me quickly number one thing, I need to add one more table, or maybe I can put it on the top so that we can see it. I say table, and then I close it. And then I also try to make this style tag here, style, and then close it, and then I say table, and then on the table I want to apply the border, and then border will be 1 pixels, and then it will be solid color, and then it will be for example blue. Okay, and then blue. And the other thing is border radius, I will make it 15, and let me check if it works or not. And then when I control S, you can see that it is 15 points and 15 pixels. Now you can see that it is making more rounded shape. If I make it 10, then it becomes less rounded. And then I also want to make the border uh, dash collapse. Okay, and then collapse is equal to collapse when I do that. And then I apply the same rule for the th and td as well. When I do that, I need to put the comma between these three. And now you can see that we have these, uh, what you can say that we have these borders around that tables. So now, if I just go back to my table here, this one that we want to create. So first of all, this is a table, and inside the table we have, for example, tr, and then inside the tr we have a th, and then right now I am not putting anything inside. I'm just copy how many we have, 2 rows, and then inside the first row I have actually 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Okay, but if you look at that in the first row, this cell is covering the two column span, row span is 2. Okay, so for the first one I will make a, what you can say that th, and inside I say it is a column row span is equal to 2, and then inside I have another row tr. Look, I'm not having, so let me first complete this thing, which I, and if you look at that, there is no information here inside this one, inside this first cell. So I'm not putting anything inside as a content. But if you look at the second one, it is an average. So it is an average. But if you look, it is It is what you can say that it is having it is covering two columns. So I can say come here and I say column span is equal to 2, and then I another th, and what is that? Red eyes. And then if you look at that again, this red eyes is also covering the two rows. So again, I say row span is equal to 2. And now I need to make another row under that. And then inside I say th. And then I need to give this height. Okay. And then inside after that, I also have another. And then we have height. And then we say weight. And then we also have another, we don't have any other. Okay, so we will do that, and then we can see that. So you can see that we have average, which is covering the two columns, height and weight, and then we have red eyes, and then after that we have rows. So inside the rows, you know, tr. Now if you look at that, here we have uh, what do you mean a heading? Heading is something that you can say it is a row, it is a cell. So rather than for the first cell I use td, I use the th, and then we have a male value. Okay, and then after that we use the td, and then we have the values 1.9. Then I make one more copy and the value is 0.003, and then I have another cell which is a 40%. So I say 40%. So when I save it, so now you can see that we can see our table is shaping up. Let me put some empty space paragraph here so that we can separate these two tables from each other. Okay, so I just put an empty paragraph over there, so it will just put me some space between these two tables. So what is the, so I can just copy this part again, and then I say it is a female. Female 1.7, 1.7, and here we have 0.02, and then we have 43%. Okay, so when I do that, so now you can see that this, uh, uh, what we can say that the table we have created. It also has the caption. So what I can do, I can go into the start of the table and I say uh, caption. And what is the caption here? A test table with merged cells. Okay, a test table with merged cells. So actually, we have different row span and the column span. Here in this one, we have used the column span because it is covering two columns, and then here in this one, we are using the row span because I mean it is covering, or it is coming into two different rows, and covering two rows, and the same thing here as well. So here you, this way you can. So now if you look at that on the left side, we have a heading. So what I did here, in the each row, the first cell is a th rather than td, so that will become a table. So because if you look at that, the first two rows, these two rows, they are the heading. Yeah, these rows, these ones, the first two rows, you know. So if I just try to highlight, how I can highlight anyway. So this one, you know, if I look at that, these two rows are the heading of the table. So what I can do, rather than putting them as separately tr, I put them into the th. No, sorry, not th. I want to put them into the t head. Okay, and then inside I put this one. So look at that. It does not make any difference in the output or the visual the view of that table. The only thing is now this heading contain two rows and it is a headings section. So it is more organization part of the table rather than the visual part of the table. So if we put the heading rows inside the table, so we are telling that these two rows belongs to the header section. And similarly, with these, the second two rows, we can put that into the tbody and we can put them here. And again, it does not make any difference in the output of that table, but it will organize these two. We have the header section and we have the body section in which we have the actual data, and then we have the header rows. Yes, someone is trying to ask the question.
Yes, doctor, will we be graded on the output or the code?
We will, I mean, if the your output is not I mean, if I ask you to make a table and then you give me something different, then of course I will look at that, because we ask you to make a table, but you somehow using the, the what you can say, that
Just like what you did.
different cells, and then you put a border and everything, you create that output. So we will look both of them. I mean, if the output is perfect, then I may not need to see the code. Okay. But if the output is not perfect, then I need to go and to see how much correct it is, the code. And then based on that, I can give you some partial marks for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, I mean, we are trying to do that. What else we can do? Let me go back to that examples. Okay. I mean, if I look at that table, again, this is more complex. Okay, so we can do that. Again, here we have one, two, three. I mean, we don't look at this one. Okay, this is only one row look like. But if I look at the other side, we have three rows as a header. Yes, so we can do something like this. Okay, let me come back here and then write on the top so that our table is coming on the table. So we are, what we are doing, we are making a table, and then we are doing that. So everything comes inside starting tag and the ending tag. And then we have the T head, and then we're closing it. Then we have a TR. And then, as you know, that we have three rows, so we will make TR three times, three rows. And what is the first thing? We say that day. So I say T, in the first row, I put a TH tag, and then I put a, what is that? We have a day. Okay. And then if you look at that, this day is actually covering the three rows. So inside the opening tag of the TH, I say row span is equal to 3. Okay, so now it is giving me a day, and because there is no other row there yet, so it will just show me the day only. And now if I just look at that, we have a second, in the first row we have a second cell in which we have a seminar, and this is covering one, two, three different, one, two, and three different columns. So we can put another here, th, and then we can say that what is that, a seminar. And then here we say it has the column span, and that is our three columns. It is covering one, two, and three columns. And then this is the first row of our table. And then in the second row, this day is coming as a first cell, but this one is a schedule which is second cell, but definitely that will be our first cell inside the second row, and that is covering the two columns, and this topic is actually covering as a second in that second row. So let me say that I want to, in the second row I put a th, and then I say that it is a schedule or schedule, whatever you want to say, and then we have the topic. And if you look at the schedule, it is actually covering two columns. So I say come down into the starting stack of the th, and I say column span is equal to 2. And then if we look at the topic, it is covering two rows. It means I come into the th, and here I say row span, and then I make it 2. So now if I just now look at the table here, it does not show me exactly, but slowly it will emerge that specific thing, because in the third row again we have two cells, begin and the end. So let me put those inside the third header row. We say th, we have a begin, and then we also have the end part. And when I do that, so now you can see that it is more or less becoming the same structure. Day is covering three rows, seminar is covering the three columns, we have a schedule which is covering the begin and end, which is two columns, and the topic is again covering the two rows. And then, of course, after that, we have the what you can say that the table data. So when the table data, so rather than I put in the rows, I put that first I create the T body, and then inside the T body, I create a TR. And inside the TR, we have a TD, which is like Monday, okay, the first day of the week. For us, it's Sunday, so maybe we can Sunday. Huh? Here in Saudi Arabia, we are using Sunday as a first day of the week, and then we say begin at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. and then it finish at 5 p.m. Okay, so I say 5, and then I make this one is the PM, and then the last one is actually contain two things, you know. For the Monday, we have this one, so it means these three columns, the first three columns are actually covering two rows, because here we are say introduction to XML and then validity DDT and then blah. So we are trying to make, you know, a schedule or this timetable for different seminars which is happening in our in any institution or any place. Okay, so introduction to XML, so I will just try to make that one here, intro introduction to XML, XML, okay. And then look, because this is Sunday, okay, let me make another row, TR, and then in the second row we only have this part. So can I copy this thing? Okay, let validity DTD and the relax ND. Okay, so we can just put TD here, and then we can say that what is the validity colon DTD and relax ng. Okay, when I save it, now you can see that actually it is come in this in the first column. Why? Because we did not specify the row span in the Sunday and the 8 a.m. and the 5 p.m. So if I say that row span, that is 2, and the same is for the time as well. So row span, that is 2, and then for the 5 as well, so this is a row span 2. When I save it, now you can see that automatically this one cell is moving towards the end of the in the last cell, because these these first three columns are having the row span 2, so they are covering two rows, so they become this become the first column of this row, this become the second column of this row, this become the third column of this row, and this actual which is inside this row, that become the fourth column here. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Clear, doctor.
Okay, so then again we have a Tuesday. In the Tuesday, rather than having two rows, it has, you know, multiple things. So again, now we are, I mean, how we can, I mean, it is trying to cover row span of 1.5, not 2, but let's see if we can do that or not. But yeah, so we have three rows, and Tuesday is covering three different rows and three different three different, what you can say that times. So starting at the 8 and ending at 11, starting at 11 ending at 2, starting at 2 and ending at 5, and then we have the XPath or XSL transformation. So we have this one, so we will try to make that thing as well. So what we need to do, again, we are inside the row, we create another row, and then inside we put a TD, and then here I say, for example, Sunday, we have a Monday. After Sunday, we get a Monday, and then we are putting these three, what you can say that the values. So let me quickly, not quickly, I mean, I just let me do it by ourselves. And then here we are saying that 8 a.m. and then we just make one more copy, and then make this one is PM, or I think it's still AM, because it is 11 a.m. So it is 11 a.m. And then we can say here in the column that the row span is actually three rows. And then in the what you can say, the last column, we have this. What is that? We have XPath. Okay, so now you can see that we have the X path, we have Monday and this, because we know have further rows, it does not go into the multiple rows. So we say tr, and then here we need to have these values. Okay, tr, yes, inside we have, and then it will start at 11 a.m. and then it finish at 2 p.m. So we need to make that this thing. And if we look at, let me put one more, what we can say that paragraph tag here so that we can see the difference between the tables. So this is our first table. So now you can see Monday is covering the both rows. But if we add one more row, it will also cover the that third row because we have that third row as well. So let me put it that one, and then it will start at 2 p.m. We have, it's 11, okay, 2 p.m. and then it is finishing at 5 p.m. So finishing at 5 p.m. So if I do that, so now you can see that in the X path. So now the question is that it is say that because if you look at the structure of this one, it is not covering the two rows, it is right in the middle. So can we make the column span, sorry, row span of this X path 1.5? And if I do that, does it work? And then I also try to make one more thing here that is a td. And then I say that what is the next one? It is the XSL transformation. XSL transformation and save it. So now I have this one, but it does not apply. I mean, if I make it 2, it will, okay, I'm saying row span. Okay, it is covering the row span. So we need to put that one in the last one. Okay, and when I do that and the row span is equal to 2, now you can see that, but I don't think that we but let me check, we need to check, can we make it like one and a half or something like that, because if we look at this, it is right in the middle. So when it's right in the middle, then how we can make that happen? Okay. And then of course in the Wednesday, it's very simple. So we can just one row with the 4 column inside it. So let me quickly bring up that one here, the last row, PR, and then we have a TD, and then inside the TD, we have Sunday, Monday, and now we say Tuesday, and then we make another. So we say 8 a.m. and then we make p.m. and that will finish at 5 p.m. And then we also have the fourth row in which we say XSL formatting objects. XSL formatting objects. So it makes that one. But right now we need to find out a way that how I can make that X bar comes in the middle of this column rather than covering the, because if I just try to use the column span is equal to in the X path 1.5, it does not work, so it should know. I mean, we need to see one, how I can specify that property, or there is another way to do that thing. But yeah, we can see that if I just try to make it 2, and then we can see that it is covering the 2 rows from 8 to 11, 11 to 2, we have X bar. From 2 to 5, we have this one. But yeah, so this is how we can make the tables. Is it clear? Or any questions? No question? So let me check if I can put the caption at the bottom of the page, bottom of the tables. Just come in the end of the table where we are closing it and put some table. So we are saying checking caption at the end of the table, and when we save it, no, whenever we are putting caption, it is all it is going wherever we are putting, doesn't matter where we are putting, it is always going to top. But of course we can change that behavior in the styling part when we are apply the different styles. So any questions so far? So we have seen these tables, how we can create the tables, different type of tables, and then yeah, any questions?
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, please, Abdullah.
if in the exam I don't use caption and I use paragraph and make it look like the caption, are you going to check it or not? For
Look, I mean, if I say caption, then I mean, I will prefer that you use the caption. But if you are able to manage the visual output, then it's okay with me.
okay, thank you.
Yes, Khalid.
Yes, doctor, can you return to the images for the HTML practices? There is one that I want to show you. This one, the Bill Gates one.
Sorry, this
This
one.
one, the yes. Is
Yes.
this the same thing that I mentioned in the earlier, or this is different?
No, I mean, you want to the heading on the left.
Yes, on the rows, on the
No,
first
this is not
column.
heading. It is more like a number one, two, first row, second row, third row, fourth row. It is more like a data.
Okay. Is
Here,
this the correct way
here you can
to?
see that on this one where we have male and female. This is again a heading part. That
Okay.
is the first example we did today.
Okay.
And here it is more like the one, two, three. We are just giving the number one row, first row of the data, second row of the data, third row of the data, fourth row of the data. So that is something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, we can look at different examples and then we can try to make it.
Doctor, if I want to make the text in the middle, in the center,
Yeah, in the text in the middle, it's we need to make the
should I put it
alignment. If I
inside
if
the
I if
section?
I for example, if I look at the topic is or that is a th is automatically going. If you look at these top headings, th automatically apply these to center. But if I say that I want this one to go into the center, then I say a style, and then we have a text alignment, and then we say center. When I do that, you can see that this text is going into the center.
Okay, doctor. If I
So
want to
in the
make all.
in the one cell, we can apply the center. So you want that we want to check on everyone. Okay, so where maybe we can say style, and then we say text alignment center. Yep. So we can apply the text alignment on the table. It will apply on everything on every cell.
So no need for a section.
I mean, of course, no need. I don't need to put that text alignment here inside the cell.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, because we are applying the text alignment on center, so it will automatically apply that alignment on every what you can say that every cell. Okay, so that
Okay,
is
clear.
all for today. This is our lecture. So let me stop the video, and then again that if you have not, I will upload this video in the YouTube channel, and then if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe so that whenever I upload a new video, you can get the notification.